All right. You ready?
Born ready.
This is your podcast.
They're teasing me, Tim, because this is like the first official podcast that I'm joining the crew. So we've already gone through the fact that the logo is probably going to have to get switched up a little bit.
A lot. Look at this.
I know. I'm not bald. So
Yeah.
We're going to have to.
Not bald yet.
I know.
So, yeah, it's kind of changing the logo is going to be hard for me because there's this whole running joke that the logo is me with a beard and without a beard. So if Shane ever,
I see what you did there. Just in case Shane all of a sudden acts up and is not on the Hopeaholics anymore,
yeah, like
you're still good.
if he eats too much of that work gum and starts to think he's the host.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
So we typically start off with a lot of banter, but do you want to do an intro? Cue the intro. That's our new intro.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the music there, Michelangelo. But you guys, it is your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, with the Hopeaholics Podcast. We have a very important, exciting, I'm incredibly honored that he is in our chair in the studio. The one, the only, the comeback coach, Tim Storey.
I like what you said. Important and exciting. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
You like that?
Important and exciting.
It's true. Very much so. Aren't you excited, Chad?
I'm super excited.
But see,
I'm like so excited I'm a little bit nervous.
But I feel like nerves are good.
Yeah, no, I like them.
Yeah. I feel like nerves is, I mean, Tim, you know, you've worked with some of the top elite athletes. Nerves is normal.
Yes. As long as you direct the nerves and that feeling of anxiousness in the right direction. So make sure you just direct it in the right direction.
Which direction is that?
Towards me.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah.
Exactly. He's the guest. You roll out that red carpet.
Yeah.
But you guys initially met, what, a week or two ago at the...
I don't even think we officially met there.
Are you serious?
Well, we saw each other.
Yep.
And I saw a very handsome man.
Yeah.
And I said, is he in the movies or somehow I've known this handsome face? That's how it all started in my mind.
Oh, nice. I knew who you were. So, because sometimes you show up on my in my headphones when I'm at the gym on the motivational videos I'm listening to.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That like I can't wait for that.
I just dropped into your brain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Before I.
You're already coaching and you haven't even met.
Yeah, like
that's the movement, Tim.
There was something I think one time you said something about manifesting and I took that to heart.
But that's the beauty of the world we live in today, is that maybe you didn't even meet anybody, and even people watching this podcast and listening to this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They may never meet us, but yet we can influence them.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. Actually, Natalie and I were talking about that. I think last time she was here or over a Zoom. Thank God for these platforms that we have nowadays, because as you and I know, we can't rely on our mainstream media to give us the proper information.
Right.
So platforms like this, we get to at least speak our truths and help other people instead of harm people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to build people up and bring people back together instead of divide people.
So I have a question. How'd you come up with the name, the Hopeaholics?
So I would love to take full credit for that and tell you that I was sitting at home thinking of names, which I was, and then all of a sudden I remembered a sweatshirt, because every year the Hope by the Sea creates sweatshirts, and every year we got hope on them. And one year my ex-wife, who's 2 doors down, she was the blonde 2 doors down, she was like, I don't want to do Got Hope this year. And she goes, I'm going to put Hopeaholics on it. This was in like 2010.
Wow.
So I'm sitting around thinking of names, and my wife, my current wife, Donna, she said, how about a dictionary? And I was like, I ran with that. I loved that name. It was going to be the name of the podcast. And I went and started searching, and a dictionary was already a podcast. Wow. So I was bummed. So I was like, what is it going to be? So I just thought about it. And I do my prayers and meditations in the morning. And all of a sudden, one morning, it just popped in my head. How about the Hopeaholics? I immediately went and searched.
And it works, right? Don't you think?
It's better than a dictionary, because this isn't just a podcast about addiction. It's not just a podcast about mental health. It's a podcast for everybody that is suffering, and everybody is suffering in some way or another.
That's true.
And everybody needs hope.
Yeah.
And I'm a hopeaholic.
I like that.
I love it.
So that is the long answer.
I know, but that's pretty incredible that she put it out there
13 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now here it is. But,
man, I have to tell you, at the Thought Leaders, when you got up and spoke, I couldn't stop listening. I was like just in awe. Shane still talks about the alignment of the assignment.
oh yeah, they brought it up to me today. Can you elaborate on that one?
Yeah, thank you for the compliment first. And I think that my gift is a gift from God, because I could be at these big conferences and I see the other speakers and they're pacing and getting ready to speak to these crowds, and I'm just talking to humans and playing with little kids. Because when I get up on that stage, I put my left foot down and my right foot down, and I ask for God's strength, and then he just flows through me. So I do a lot of work to get there, but I definitely am supernaturally empowered when I talk. The alignment to the assignment is this, is that Ephesians 2:10 says that we are a work of art created by Christ Jesus to do good works that God prepared in advance for us to do. So I told Oprah Winfrey this. I said, I don't believe in chasing dreams. I believe in aligning myself with what God already said. So I don't want anything that's not mine. Because if I take anything that's not mine, then I'm going to miss what's mine. So I want to be in alignment to my assignment. So I could see any other speaker, no matter how successful they are, I could applaud them. I could see somebody else's house, relationship that they have with somebody else, and applaud them, because I don't want it. I want to be in alignment to my assignment.
I like that.
It's amazing, because if you would have been at the conference, I don't remember who it was, but somebody came up to you and they said, you can meet Oprah on this date. And you looked in your calendar and you were like, I'm busy that day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because what happens to all of us is that people will almost try to bait us with they think is going to be a better life for us.
Right.
And in the world of dating, a lot of people try to bait people. Like, look what I have to offer you. Well, if you're not for me, then what does it have to do with me and for me?
Yeah.
So I don't really want it. So what happened is one of Oprah's best friends said that Oprah wants to meet you and we need you to come on this day. And I said, ooh, I wish I could, but I have to be somewhere else. And she said, that's really not smart.
Right.
She wants to meet you on this date. I said, I'm serious. I wish I could, but I have to be somewhere else. Because I had promised a smaller group of people that I'd do a talk.
Yeah.
And I'm a man of my word. So I'd rather be with a smaller group of people, because I knew that someday that Oprah and I would have this divine connection. I just knew it. So I had so much faith in what I believe God said to me that I knew I'd show up at Oprah's house at the right time. And then Oprah said to me, she said, finally. When I met her, she said, finally.
Not only with that, but I guarantee you it made Oprah want to meet you that much more And also, I heard one time Hugh Jackman, he had mentioned a similar, his father always told him, you know, say you have dinner plans. And then all of a sudden, like the Queen of England invites you to dinner on that same exact day. You have to say, I'm sorry, I have plans, because you keep your original word for your original plans instead of trying to cancel something thinking that it's going to somehow either financial gain or a relationship gain or something like that is basically the way to be. And that's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, very smart. And I think that if we bring it down to everyday living, if somebody is in the second grade, be in alignment to your assignment. If you're a senior in high school, be in alignment to your assignment. If you're divorced and you're a father and you're overseeing your children, be in alignment to your assignment. And that's what's so important, because we have a world that constantly is telling you you're not enough. You should upgrade now.
Right.
Don't you want to upgrade now? Don't you want to be on your grind now? So the key is to prosper where you're planted, be in alignment to your assignment, and then there'll be a lot more contentment in people's lives.
I love that.
I know it sounds so simplistic.
Yeah, and the thing is like 99% of the people would have canceled that.
Oh, for sure.
The other venue that you had.
Yeah, and the reality is that, let's say if it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to go, I would still be okay with it.
Yeah.
And I get invited to a lot of celebrity parties, and I'll ask a celebrity, and they'll say, Tim, you got to come because so-and-so is going to be there, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. And I said to this one guy, I said, sounds like you got enough people. And he said, are you serious? No, I just want to be where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, right. I actually like that, because I feel like most of the time I'm supposed to be at home in bed.
Yeah.
You know, my days start pretty early, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Yeah, 3 a.m.
That is early.
I am up. Well, I listen, like I told you, I listen to these things, right? And they talk about, millionaires get up at 4 a.m. So I get up an hour earlier than them.
Chad's going for that billionaire status.
I feel like, so my story is I am in alignment of my assignment. I've gotten out of alignment of my assignment as an owner of this, but I was left here on December 9th of 2000 for 2 reasons. One, to be a father and a mother to a little girl, a brand new baby girl. And the other reason was to help people that suffer with the same thing that I suffer from, and what I suffer from is not addiction. What I suffer from is my own thoughts and my own feelings. And as I aligned with that, when I realized that in the year 2000, I was totally broke, homeless. I had a negative $600 in my bank account. I started working in the mortgage industry, and I was like, I can't do this. This isn't what I'm supposed to do. So I went to the treatment center that I went through and asked them for a job. I said, I'll do anything. They said, well, you can drive a van and we'll pay you $800 cash under the table. And so I quit my higher paying job for this lower paying job because I knew that that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Let's fast forward 23 years. You're just standing in it, The Hope by the Sea grew to 80 plus beds. The Infinity Group got created, and now there's 6 treatment centers with 250. And this is just the beginning for me still.
Which is amazing. How did you start to get your mind renewed?
I renew my mind with prayer and meditation. I do the Jesus Calling every morning.
Which I love that book. Like I have so many people reading that book.
Yeah, I read it every morning. That's why I get up at 3. Well, 1, I need my coffee. I'm not gonna lie. I need my coffee, and then I start my reading with my Jesus calling, and then I pray, and I do my normal prayer, but then I also sit and I listen for a while in quiet because nobody else is awake in my house. And I listen, and that's when things start coming to me. And I don't believe that these are my amazing thoughts because I don't put myself at that high of a level. I just believe that these things that come to me are all from God, and then I go out and I start to execute them on a daily basis.
That's a great word, execute. You know about execution, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
What does execution mean to you?
To me, is an actionable step to get the job done.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's thoughts without action are just a thought.
Yeah. Everything has to require action. Like we were kind of talking about before the podcast, working a 12-step of recovery, it really means nothing if you're not putting any type of action behind it. I've been into many AA meetings, and you hear a lot of people that continuously are trying to get sober, but they haven't put any action behind that. So it's just right there is the thought. So it's good that they have the action to get to the meeting, but then you have all of the steps, which is hard work. It's a simple program, but you have to put in that action behind it.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about people who are not in alignment to assignment. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, I love talking about that.
Okay. So in my opinion, a lot of times we start with momentum. Momentum is a force or an energy. And then life interruptions hit. For a little kid, it could be their parents got divorced. It could be they got molested. It could be there was an illness in their life. And so these life interruptions hit very quickly. And I find that a lot of people, they get off their path at an early age because this life interruption hit.
Mm-hmm.
So now they feel like they're not in alignment to their assignment because they have these delays, these distractions, watch this, and these detours.
Mm-hmm.
And so they take these big life detours. That's why you see somebody in one bad relationship, then another bad relationship, then another bad relationship, and they get so far out of the alignment to the assignment. And I think that that's where a lot of people move into addiction.
Yeah.
Because if you don't run to the refuge, which is God, you will run to a refuge, which is something else.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I agree.
I believe that.
I agree.
For sure.
That's almost kind of my definition of substance abuse. We abuse because of underlying psychological issues that we have in our brain, and we want to try to fix them with a substance, but the only thing that can actually fix them is God.
Yes.
And I was telling her earlier, it's like addicts, alcoholics, we try to fill this God-sized hole, with a pill, with a drink, with a drug, and it doesn't. It just causes more pain.
Yes. Okay, so you guys believe, because you are the Hopeaholics, that there is hope if you lose your alignment to the assignment. So watch. So somebody goes off, and as we said, you have these delays, these distractions, these detours. So now you're off. So one of the things you have to do, as we all know, is you have to become awake. Okay? So to become awake means to become conscious. And now you're like, boom. It's like waking up from a sleep, waking up from a nap. How did you first become awake to say, I'm off my yellow brick road?
So this is, I love this topic because I want to pick your brain on this specific one as well. Because, so for me, there are many instances in the sense of poor decisions that I was not raised to make. Mm-hmm. So little things, DUIs, winding up in jail, things of that nature, which is totally not the person. My parents are still married. I absolutely have so much love and respect. They're my heroes, my parents. I love them. So I had that in my brain telling me this is not this is not the person that you're supposed to be. However, it still wasn't enough to actually wake up. So I think for me, it's getting to a point where you're so sick and tired of being on that hamster wheel and doing the same thing over and over and over again, and nothing is getting better.
I so agree.
Things just continue to get worse and worse. So it's almost like I came to a point where you hit your knees and you're like, okay, God, help me.
Yeah.
Help me find the way. And then from there, you know, picking yourself up and putting your tail between your legs and getting into AA and starting that process, because I had nothing else to lose at that point.
So when you get emotional, so I see emotion in your eyes, you're getting emotional for what reason? Tell me.
Ooh, Tim, are we getting heavy here? I'm like, this isn't about me. This is about you. Dang.
This is why I'm me.
Yeah.
I think it's because at one point in time, I used to be so shameful of sobriety or having an addiction problem, or thinking such a disgrace to my family. Like, oh my goodness, you know, because I'm Mexican Italian. You're not weak. You're strong. A sign of weakness is asking for help or anything. You shake it off. You don't cry about it. You move on. You handle your business. So I think now, especially being a part of, and you're coming in on such a crazy day, because this is like officially the first day. So I have just naturally already a lot of emotions, because it's really happening. Like, it's really coming to life. And it's something that I used to be so like living a double life, where I would work my program, but I would never tell like just anybody that I would meet or friends or anything like that. It was like I was two different people. And then finally, as soon as in 2013, when I stepped into WWE and then got a reality TV show, that was kind of a moment where I had to make a big decision, in the sense of, I feel when you tell your story, when you take that power and you have that narrative and you put it out there first, you take all the power away from anybody else trying to say this, that, or the other. And
See, I think that's powerful, because as all three of us know, that we know when we have become a discount version of ourselves.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that is like a Tim Storey quote, a discount version
I love that.
of ourself. You knew it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What did that feel like?
There was a lot of pain and shame, worthlessness, hopelessness. Like I was basically, I don't want to say that I didn't feel like I wanted to live, but I didn't want to die. So I felt a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for me, it's kind of similar, because I had to get to that point of emotional pain to be able to hit my knees, and had enough, because I come from a really good family. My dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse, they're both married, grew up in a Christian home. Nobody in my house drank or did drugs. My parents have never had alcohol in the house. My dad was a famous doctor, though, so he was never around. He wasn't around that much. He was traveling the world, teaching. And so seeing all of that, what I should have been, good Christian private school, and to then being homeless on the streets of San Bernardino, consequences, though, are what got me to that pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't want to go into another jail cell again. I prayed. I think I prayed for the first time in a jail cell.
See, this is so amazing, because when we talk about this thing about starting with momentum, and I have this other saying that life can knock the shout out of you. When most little kids enter a room, mostly when they're with their friends, there's a shout.
Yeah.
Everything's high volume. But when you're talking about ending up in the streets of San Bernardino, life had knocked the shout out of you.
Yeah.
So we're taking people through steps. So number one, you have to become awake. Secondly, you have to take inventory. To me, that's one of the most difficult things. When I'm life coaching the celebrities that I work with, they don't want to take inventory. Because taking inventory is taking everything out of your pockets, putting it on the table, and seeing what we're really dealing with. Mm-hmm. Where's your mindset? Where's your relationship? How many people are you having affairs with? Mm-hmm. What is your real addiction? And that inventory side is the side where most people back from the table. But the brave have to come forward and say, damn it, I don't have it all together. I'm taking inventory.
For sure.
What does that mean to you?
It's taking accountability. So when I first walked into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, I thought that I was a good person because that's how I was raised, with manners and polite and all of thinking that I was just a great girl. When I had to sit down and really write an inventory, I'm like, wow, I'm a selfish, self-centered, all I care about is me. And if I'm being nice to you, it's because I'm trying to get something. Mm-hmm. And that was really, really eye-opening because I never, ever thought that. And it's really peeling back the curtain and looking yourself in the mirror and stop lying to yourself. I was a liar.
So how did you become that, and why did you become that? Because the way I see you now, that's not who you are.
Thank God.
So how did you become that? Why did you become that?
I don't know. And this is where it is interesting. I think addiction is fascinating to me and on all fronts, because you have someone like Chad, right? And he's the only addict in his family. However, in my case, my entire family, all my brothers and I have the disease. I never got to meet my grandfather because my dad got to watch him die of cirrhosis of the liver. So I feel like it's heavy in our just genetic makeup. Mm-hmm. And I think as soon as I really stopped playing competitive soccer in college, that's when the wheels fell off, because I had no purpose. That was my main, I put all my drive, all my energy into that specific thing. I had other people counting on me because it was like, I'm team captain, I have to show up. So once that's removed, then I'm stuck with me.
Yeah.
And that was a scary place to be. And I think that's where everything really started to kind of grow and form. And then it developed into an ugly monster.
Aren't you glad she's not an ugly monster anymore?
Yeah.
What do you think, Chad?
I mean, no, I am, because you can see somebody that's beautiful, and I see it all the time. And then you see their disease or them in active addiction or active alcoholism. And it's like, whoa,
Scary.
It is scary, and it doesn't really matter what people look like, because what I look for in people these days is that the inside thing. But even when she was that evil monster, this person still existed inside.
That's true.
That is true.
We have all these, we create all these poor defects of character when we're in the midst of our disease or in the midst of our alcoholism, so that we can continue doing that.
Yeah.
And it's selfish, because she used the word selfish. It's selfish, but that's what it is. The alcoholism addiction it's selfish.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like what we were saying earlier. So it's kind of like, we all, I kind of think, have it. You have your two voices, whether you want to say angel, devil, or your, good, mm-hmm. evil. And we have voices in our head. So it's, which one are you going to feed more that day? Because I can wake up tomorrow and I can feed that bad one easily.
You could, yeah.
But I choose to feed the good one by doing the tools that we're taught in the program to mitigate the bad one. So if you're continuously doing that over and over again, then you're building your habits, which hopefully quiet that one that's trying to take you out every single day.
And that's part of the comeback. So we started with, to get the momentum back, you have to become awake. Secondly, you take inventory. You guys agree with those two?
Of course.
The third thing is you have to partner with the right people.
Yeah.
100%.
So if I am life coaching or doing therapy with, let's say, an NBA star, mm-hmm. and they bring in 3 of their friends, I don't even need to ask them if they're okay. I could just see their friends.
Yep.
I
Yep.
promise you.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Or see who they're dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yikes.
You
He
saying
or
that,
she are in trouble.
Shane says that all the time on the podcast. He says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
You know what? But I feel like what doesn't get talked about enough is what you just said. Who you pick as a partner in life is imperative for you to grow into who you are supposed to become, because they can either hinder and take you out, or they can help you flourish.
100%. And because it's a space that you're allowing somebody in. So I call it the green room. So if we were all three to go speak at a conference, so pretend it's us three and Oprah, okay? So they would say, there's your green room, there's your green room. Everybody gets a green room. Then they say, you know, we put fruit in there and hot tea. You could have 5 people in there. Whoever you put in your green room are the people who are going to influence you. It's in that green room that you're hearing their secrets, their thoughts, feeling their attitudes. Somebody doesn't even have to say something to me. I could feel their attitude.
For sure.
I agree.
Definitely.
It's powerful stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take some people out of your green room, people.
The people that go in my green room with me, they got to be really supportive, because my secrets come out. The fact that I'm going to be nervous.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Especially because, like, I mean, if I'm going on stage with Oprah, I'm going to feel nervous.
Yeah, so they got to be supportive. They got to strengthen you.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And
Encourage me.
the guys have seen it a little bit today, but I'm really lucky, and I really am fortunate that God put my husband in my life, because I am the youngest of all boys. So I had a very much mentality of trying to compete constantly and trying to win, and him being able, I'm a tornado. So he's able to steer the tornado. And anytime that I'm ever nervous, or say I'm at SummerSlam or something, a big, huge event for WWE,
Yes.
it's live television, it's sink or swim, and I'm all in my head or something, it's like, you're in the right place at the right time. God put you here. Go handle your business.
See, so that's powerful, of the power of partnership
Exactly.
with him being there. So watch how awesome this is. The Bible says, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 30. It says, he who walks with the wise, watch this, will stack up more wisdom. A companion of fools, their life will unravel. So when you spend time with fools, your life spirals down. You spend time with wise people, your life accelerates high. What a shift.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means what's going on in my life right now. And mostly for the last 20 years, but specifically right now, because for the first 18 years pre-COVID, my family was my support system. And I mean, like, my mom, my sister, my dad, and they helped me run the business. That's why I branched out, though, and bought my own treatment center on my own, because I needed to prove to myself, not to anybody else, but to myself, that I was capable of doing this. So then COVID came. My parents old. My dad was 85. We were like, you can't be coming to the office anymore. We need you to, stay at home, because we're, owning treatment centers is we were open, and the beginning was kind of scary, right? I'm the one going to the grocery stores, and I needed to buy food for all of my patients, so I was willing to put my life on the line. And that's how I felt at the time. I was like, okay, like I'm going to put my life on the line, because you know what? God has put me here. I'm not going to be afraid of this. I'm going to go do it. I was a little weird when I got home, and I would strip down and put my clothes in the wash and go immediately take a shower before I touched anybody in my family, because we didn't really know much. But what I'm saying is, so at that point, I brought these other people into my life, the Infinity Group, And my life and my wife, my wife keeps me in check. She keeps me in line. She's the one person in this world that's not afraid to tell me you're not doing the right thing. You know, she will call me out on stuff. I love and hate that about her, because I'm used to being a boss. You know, I've been a CEO for 20 years, and not even my mom really ever told me what to do at that point in business. She does. So for me, what that means to me is having all these people in my life. I get opportunities like meeting Natalie and Jonathan.
Yeah.
I get cool people like Shane in my life who are, what's the word for him? It's not determined. He's persistent. Relentless.
I love that word.
And then I get to be sitting on a podcast with you because I have all those people in my life.
Yeah. We're talking about the power of partnership.
Yes.
Does your wife listen to this podcast?
She listens to every podcast.
So tell her how much you love that she challenges you, because she's going to listen to this.
Hi, babe. You do know how much I love and hate, but I really do love the fact
I'm trying to get you points, so just tell her how much you love it.
I truly do love the fact that you are the only person that challenges me.
Yes.
And you can go back and watch our wedding video. I said that to the producers of the wedding video. I said it 7 years ago when we got married. I said to them, she challenges me and she makes me a better person.
Yes.
You know, and most people, I'm not saying that other people don't make me a better person. Most people don't challenge me.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the power of partnership. You have to become awake to get your momentum back. Take inventory, power of partnership. I think that many times people choose partners when they're not in a good place.
Yeah.
And they make quick decisions with what I call lingering results. How powerful is this?
Yeah.
So maybe they have a breakup and then they're lonely. Mm-hmm. So then they choose somebody, quick decision, lingering results.
For sure.
Because not everybody just goes away.
Right.
Yeah.
People think, oh, I can just get rid of this person by doing X, Y, Z. Not necessarily the case. I see this even with a lot of men that I work with that want to scale and they want to be these huge people overnight. And they start to partner with people that they shouldn't even be really good friends with. And they're doing it many times from bad motives. And it could take them 5 years, 10 years to get out of it. And this is something that everybody watching and listening today, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to vet people before you partner with them and bring them too close. Natalie, what goes to your mind when I talk about that?
I'm just thinking about what you touched on, partnership and comfort. So a lot of times, and I've seen it, is what happens is somebody ends a relationship, but then all of a sudden now they're alone. So then they end up going back into that same dysfunctional relationship. Why? Because they're yearning for that comfort. And they stay in that comfort relationship 5 more years. You've just wasted 5 more years instead of really facing the beast, and that beast is yourself, and having to look in the mirror, waking up, taking accountability, and living up to whatever it is that you want to become.
Yes.
And not putting it on your happiness. My happiness does not revolve around Jonathan. Yes, he brings me joy. Yes, I respect him. I respect his opinion. He pushes me. He makes me better. My happiness is solely myself, on me. He can't make me happy. It's what am I doing daily that when I hit the pillow at night, when I have my prayers, when I'm talking to God, if I'm doing all the things that I know align with my assignment, then I am good, then I am content, then I am happy, which then makes me a better partner to him.
Yes. Okay, so we have to become awake to get our momentum back, take inventory, and I like how you say accountability with that. It's inventory. 3rd, partner with the right people. Number 4, so powerful, you have to have the right principles. Life has to be built on the right principles, 100%. And this is a challenge today. Like, people can scroll through TikTok.
Sure.
And if they watch 20 different TikTok little videos, they're going to get 20 different opinions on how to live life. How true is that?
Yeah, very much so.
You better doggone find out where you're getting your principles, why you're getting your principles, and those principles better be in alignment to your assignment. What do you think?
I think that that's the most important part. You know, I want to just kind of bring it on to business as the topic of this, because a lot of people go into business or into thinking their alignment to their assignment is money, right? Money. But I don't do that because the reason why I started Hope by the Sea was because the people who were running the treatment center that I was working for, their principles were not in line with mine. Mm-hmm. And for me, the most important thing was I'm asking people for money. Especially when I first started, this wasn't insurance-based. This was private pay. So I'm asking you for money for me to either take care of you, take care of your son, whoever it is. So on principle, the most important thing to me had to be the care that I was giving to that individual.
That's why most marriages do not work, because of the principles. So the word divorce, watch my hands. Divorce means divided force. So you had force because you had unity, right? So if your principles are not aligned, you have divided force, and then you begin to see the break. So people can get together and it's physical or it's emotional or there's a dopamine that hits them because of this romantic love. Then the challenges started hitting. They don't have the same principles, and you have division, divided force. Mm-hmm. Super powerful stuff, right?
Yeah, it is really powerful, because when you bring it to that, all the way over to there, it's like every marriage goes through tough times. And I think it's extremely important and extremely powerful, especially for the man, to I don't want to use the word cave, but for lack of better words, to give in, to compromise is the word I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Because so often divorce happens because the man is unwilling to compromise with what is going on in the relationship, and that's something that I constantly bring back, even if I'm fighting with my wife.
Yes. I
come back to, Chad, you need to come back and you need to be the one to first step up and say, I apologize. Because I'm always playing a part in it.
No, but that would be a lot of growth on your side as a man, because the male side of a relationship is to guide and to guard. Okay? To guide. Guidance is direction. Yeah. To guard is protection. If a woman feels like they are being guided and not manipulated, it's a whole different thing. If they feel guarded and protected, a smart woman is just going to be at ease. And there's going to be a natural connection of, okay, he knows where he's going. He didn't have to verbalize it. He could just do it by his action steps.
Yeah.
But the power of this is that a woman God created in his image. And so we're smart to listen to women.
Yeah.
I listen to women.
Yeah.
some of the biggest influences in my life are women because of the perspective that they may have that I don't have.
Yeah.
I have blind spots that sometimes a woman does not have the same.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you something about myself. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 women guiding me and 2 men. That's my main circle.
Yeah.
That doesn't include my wife and my mother.
Right.
Yeah.
And their opinions matter.
So we're talking about momentum, getting it back. You have to become awake, take inventory, partner with the right people. Then you have to have the right principles, okay? From the principles, you create the plan. You never create the plan for your life unless you have the right principles. How powerful is this? So someone could go to some success seminar and go, look at this guy. He has scaled his business 30x.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this guy's doing. May not have anything to do with you.
Right.
So you have to have the right principles in you, and the principles then say, this should be your plan. Your plan will come out of the principles. It's like a woman getting pregnant. Once you are pregnant with the right principles, you'll give birth to powerful plans.
Beautiful. Love that.
I love that.
I should consider being an inspirational talker.
Yeah, you should. Have you ever thought
Maybe
about
you should
doing?
take that up.
Have you ever thought
I'm
about doing?
seriously thinking about it as we talk now.
Yeah.
But
You just have a natural gift for it.
that's what I wanted to ask, though. There's 2 things. Well, first I'll ask this first one. Being awake, right? Being able to finally wake up to the nonsense, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Now, for people that are listening or watching at home, and my family for sure is going through the exact moment, because it is very hard for somebody to watch somebody that you absolutely love fall and consume in addiction.
Yes.
And everyone around them is awake. God knows that they are awake. But that one individual is definitely not. So I guess my question to you is, I guess, what words of either encouragement to the ones that are having to kind of stand beside that specific individual?
Mm-hmm.
Because as we all know, it really comes down to the addict or the alcoholic to do it for themselves. Nobody can lead. It's just like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. If that person does not want to get well, it is extremely difficult on the family.
Yes. So I've been there. I mean, almost my whole life, because my father struggled and my brother struggled. So I think that it's like the thing that a lot of people talk about. If you're on an airplane and they say to the parent, put the mask on yourself first, the oxygen mask, and then you put it on the child. Because if you're not alive, then they have no chance of living. And I think where we miss it many times with trying to help people that are in addiction is we put the mask on them first, and then we start to die. No doubt about it. So you have to live, and then try to pass on as much life as you can. And that if they're not taking the life at that time, you have to continue to live and try to pass on as much life as you can. And then it takes a village, and try to get other people with masks to try to put life on your brother, sister, son, or daughter. You would agree with that?
These are facts.
Yeah.
Those are facts. The most important person that you can help when somebody, a family, loved one, let's call it a loved one, is struggling, is help yourself first. Get yourself right and healthy. I also truly believe, because I've been in this situation as a treatment professional, I can sit here and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But when it's my own child,
Right.
I start to make the wrong mistakes, the wrong
Yes.
decisions. So I had to ask other people professionals. What do I do? My daughter is taking Xanax. She's doing meth, you know, and she's asking me for money every day. And, you know, and I wanted to give it to her. There was so many things that I wanted to do that were wrong, that I knew the decisions were wrong. And it was truly me putting the mask on her, but without putting one on myself.
Yeah.
So I needed to seek professional help myself to get myself right. You know, today my daughter's doing amazing. You know, she's the reason why everything exists. I mean, my treatment center, she was the one that was born December 14th, which was 5 days after my car accident that I should have died in. So she's the reason why I had that moment of clarity to make a better decision in my life. And
that's awesome, right?
Yeah, it is. And she's the reason why this podcast exists, because if I wouldn't have got the phone call at 7:30 a.m. Sunday morning, 9/11/2022, with her screaming, those screams that I'll never forget in my mind, because when you hear somebody screaming like that, you know that somebody's dead.
Wow. For those just coming on, they're watching the Hopeaholics, right?
Yeah, the Hopeaholics.
These are some Hopeaholics here.
That's right.
And we're talking about the alignment to the assignment and how you can lose alignment. And we said you have to become awake, take inventory. Thirdly, partner with the right people, get the right principles, have the right plan. Okay. But then I'm going to give you something powerful. The word you used earlier, you have to be persistent. Persistence breaks resistance.
For sure.
And this is why a lot of people that struggle get back up, because in their DNA, they are persistent.
Yeah.
Because if they can go find drugs,
100%.
they can find a damn way
Absolutely.
up. Right?
Yes.
So I shake the crap out of people that are struggling and say, like, if you could find drugs, then you could show up to my program and get it together.
Totally. I say that all the time. Even my sponsor, she's like, oh, she's always said it, because I initially got sober at 23, had 3 years. I got all the things back. You know, I had all the promises coming. And then I was like, thank you. I graduated. And then, of course, we all know how that goes. And I started to drive the bus again and ended up relapsing and then came back in at 28. But when I sponsor other women, I say, what lengths did you go to get high or to go get that drink? And it would be astronomical things, like out of your mind, driving in, whether it's traffic, going 3 hours, leaving their place at 2 a.m., whatever it was. And I was like, exactly. So that's what you're going to do here. And you're going to get your ass to a meeting and do all of the things that we needed to do. So if you can do that, you can do this.
Yeah, because it's amazing. Like, addicts and alcoholics, we work hard to stay drunk and high. We work very, very hard at that. You get clean and sober, and somebody told me I got clean and sober. I was a meth addict, so I was awake all the time. So it's like, you know, I had 24 hours in a day where most people only have like maybe 18 because they sleep or less. But my point is a 40-hour week wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I took that same energy and I put it into positive stuff. I started putting it into positive stuff, and amazing results started happening in my life. But I mean, I have to bring it back to, and I didn't know this until you said it the other day at that conference I was at. I didn't know that I was in alignment to my assignment. I didn't have those exact words. I just knew that I was on God. I called it God's path.
Can I tell you something? When you're in alignment to your assignment, life is so doggone good.
Oh my God. And it's so easy. Things
What
just
the
happen.
heck? Yes.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. When you are in where you're supposed to be, I mean, even just like partnering up with these guys.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how easy it was.
Do you know that I don't want what other people have? I went to a guy's house he lives in Orange County. This house is what the heck? You know, the amount of money that it costs.
Sure.
And there's like fish all over the house. And then he says, do you want to see my rare art? This is the truth. It's like Maxwell Smart from Get Smart. He pushes a code, doot, 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 and a whole door just comes like this. Okay. When I saw all his stuff, I still didn't want to be him. And I didn't say, why him? I want this. No, that's his jam. But what's wild is he wanted to talk to me. He's like, man, look what you're doing. Look at the significance you have, the humanitarian work. Interesting, right? So, but when you're in alignment to your assignment, there is such satisfaction, and here's a missing word to the society, significance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the big difference that I got out of that story, is that he has an amazing amount of monetary gain. However, he wanted to talk to you because of the influence, the positivity, the significance that you are putting out there into the world and changing people's lives. That's different.
And it was
That's
interesting
priceless.
because he didn't want to let me go. And his wife says, I think he's trying to get you and keep you hostage. Because I think when somebody's in alignment to their assignment, they're very contagious.
Yeah.
As well. See, Mother Teresa was contagious because she was in alignment to her assignment. She was helping orphans. What Martin Luther King did for all people, he was in alignment to his assignment. Nelson Mandela, alignment to her assignment. The Hopeaholics, alignment to your assignment. Okay, we're almost done. Watch. Because my throat can only hold up so long. So I'm on throat rest, you guys, but I love you so much, so I showed up.
Appreciate that.
Savage.
So I have a doctor, and I'm under doctor supervision. But here's what it is. You become awake, you take inventory, partner with the right people, right? Then I said you need the right principles, number 4. The principles bring a plan. Then you have to be persistent. You guys agree with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's my last one. You have that persistence, but then you have to stay on the path. But I'm going to take you guys way back. Could be before your time, just so you know. The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Do you at least remember this
I
movie?
do.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember.
You remember too?
Yeah.
Okay. Dorothy
Yeah.
needed to get back to where?
Kansas.
Kansas. And so they said, follow the what?
Yellow Brick Road.
My God, you guys are good. Follow the yellow brick road. And then remember the little guys?
Yeah.
How'd they do it?
The Oompa Loompas?
Yeah. How'd they say it? Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, follow the yellow brick road. Yeah. Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah. Okay, so now you got it. So the whole idea was you got to stay on the path. Most people suck on staying on the path.
Tim, it is funny that you say that. 'Cause
My
you
gosh,
know what?
I'm
When
on fire right now.
Yeah, you are. I talk to my parents every night. I FaceTime them. And my dad always tells me, stay the course. Stay the course.
That's what he's saying. Stay on the yellow brick road.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, because I also have another part of the the alignment to your assignment. There's when you're on to something great, there's also an evil force.
The Wicked Witch.
Yeah, the wicked
Buddy,
witch.
stick with the Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
analogy.
The wicked
There was
witch
a Wicked Witch.
tries to or the devil, right?
Yeah.
Really tries to come in and get you when things are tough.
Of course.
I mean, when things are amazing and you're heading to that path and you can see it and it's there, all of a sudden he like throws in. I'll just give you an example in my own personal life. All of a sudden, the VA, which is my biggest contract that I have, they're like, "Oh, we're not sending you any more patients." You're like, "Oh, Jesus, that's how I pay my bills."
Yeah.
But you have to stay the course.
And be
Gotta stay on there.
persistent.
Yeah.
Be persistent. But you got to stay on the yellow brick road because remember Dorothy? She had a dog named what?
Toto.
Man, you guys are good. Then she had the Cowardly Lion,
Yep.
Yeah.
the Tin Man, and who?
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. Okay. Every one of them, you guys, look at the audience. We have a huge audience here today.
We sure do.
Yeah, we do.
All very attractive people. Even the workers in this place, they look like they're Hollywood picked. But even the scarecrow got off the yellow brick road, caught on fire. This is so awesome. The Tin Man, he got rusty.
Yep.
And then the cowardly lion, remember? He had a panic attack and was in therapy. So your friends on accident or on purpose can try to take you off the yellow brick road. So you got to be so persistent to stay on that path. And that's what I am, to be honest with you. It's not an age that I'm at. It's a stage. I just refuse to get off my path.
Clearly.
I don't let anything shake me.
And you can obviously, it's in your work. You're staying on the path.
For all these years.
Yes.
It's one thing to do well for like, ooh, Tim Storey was great for 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can go all the way back, right? We can go back to, I don't know how far back, but you were talking about like the early 90s on stage the other day.
Yes.
But like where I remember, I can go back to like Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
And him going through his mess.
Yes. I was in 99 when I started working with Robert. Kanye West, 2006. But all the different celebrities, because I work with anybody that's been on TMZ, I usually help them.
That's why they call you the comeback coach.
But I had 8,000 people coming to see me at the Anaheim Convention Center when I was 26.
Oh, crap.
So that's a lot of pressure.
Sure.
But if there were times that I did get off the yellow brick road for a while, then I had really cool partners that bandaged me up and got my butt right back on.
Yeah.
Goes back to your other partnership.
Power partnership.
So if I ever am straying, it's like an immediate, hey.
Yeah, but I listen.
Get your ass back on the
and I
road.
like that you listened.
Yes.
And I like that you listen. And I like that I listen. I listen. If somebody truly loves me, I will listen to them.
Yeah.
Helps us stay on the path.
Yeah.
But I love you guys. But I got to rest my throat for real.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you coming in.
What a privilege, my God.
It was a privilege
Tim,
for
you're
us.
the man. You really are.
I feel
It's incredible.
I feel inspired. I feel more knowledgeable. I don't always feel more knowledgeable.
You look more handsome
than I did when I first
You
walked
actually
in.
look way more at ease.
No,
and just,
seriously.
like, serene.
You got more handsome and you're like glowing or something.
Well,
That's what you have. That's your effect.
that's because I was so
That's what
nervous
happens.
and we were doing stupid stuff. These reels in here and Shane was really making me laugh. It was good times. But we really do appreciate you coming in. It really is an honor and a privilege for us.
It's incredible what you do.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
How many millions of people you help get on the yellow brick road.
Yes, and it's a privilege to be with you guys, and I look forward to serving the world together.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
And
coming in.
thank you. I hope your voice gets better because that's what happens. You're spreading the message and you're just speaking to everybody and see, you're facing the consequences of putting it out there.
All right, we're going to just do a quick picture and